Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ray Silver from South Texas Border Sports, and today I'm being joined alongside Edson Ochoa of Down in the Valley, one of the co-hosts. Edson, how are you? How's the off-season treated you, and how's everything going?
Doing pretty well, man. I'm honestly looking forward to what the 2023 season brings in for the Toros. There was some improvements made in not only within the team, but also with some measures that the front office that we will be talking about. We've talked about on Down in the Valley as well. But overall, looking a little bit optimistic to see if maybe there's at least an improvement. While the movements that were made weren't something that was going to be a bombshell for the rest of the league, I do really see that they are kind of adding on to this long-term process.
Absolutely. And when you talk about long-term processes, you talk about returning faces as well to the project. This year, the Toros kept at least 10 pieces. But out of those 10 pieces that returned, who do you think has that number one priority to stand out the most?
Definitely Eric Pimentel. I mean, he comes in with the pedigree that he's brought in. You're coming in from with a past in America, participating in the Club World Cup, winning CONCACAF Champions League, Liga MX, ni se diga. He has to prove his salary. He has to prove why he was brought in as an experienced player to help guide this back line. The reputation of Wilmer Cabrera's defensive-minded stability needs to continue under Eric Pimentel. Whether he's paired with Wahabakwe or with Gabriel Benitez, Robert Coronado, Jonathan Ricketts, whoever's in that back line, he has to help guide them, try to minimize the amount of yellows that he receives, or the danger of losing matches because of yellow card accumulation or red cards too. So he has to prove his leadership. He is going to be his third year with the club. So if he's going to be looking for a renewal, this is going to be the season to prove whether he stays or he's going to have to go to other pastures.
For me, it's got to be Robert Coronado. For me, he had a very solid start to the campaign last year. He scored those 2 goals against Monterey Bay, but I kind of felt like he kind of lost that form a little bit, and it was at a crucial time where he kind of lost that form. And for me, he's kind of due for a recovery year where where the fans are accustomed to seeing Robert Coronado. Aside from being one of the longest tenured Toros in franchise history, I think the history beckons that he has to be the one that has to perform, has to be on the top of this game.
I definitely agree. I think he's coming off, or he came back to the Toros off of an injury that left him on the sidelines for quite a long time, and obviously when coming in, you come in with the responsibility, right, of being a starter. He ends up getting moved back to the midfield. Sure, that was his natural position to begin with, but Wilmer ends up having to bring Akeem O'Connor Ward in the middle of the season to take care of that left back position. What does that mean? It means that Wilmer Cabrera wasn't 100% convinced of his move. Hold on.
The movement.
Well, the movement, but also of his talent level. Basically, he wasn't sure that he had the level to be able to be a starter for what Wilmer was looking at into his system. He gets another opportunity here for the 2023 season. Now he has to pretty much fight for that position against a newcomer, but who has one game, but he does have international experience with the Venezuelan national team. So it's going to be a very interesting competition to see who's going to get to the starting position out on left back.
Absolutely. And you talk about the newcomers. Moving on to our next topic. Which of the newcomers has the most, I don't want to add the pressure early on, but which of the newcomers for you has to stand out right away in order to put the Toros into a strong candidacy, like, hey, San Antonio, we know you're the champions. We want to knock you off. Who's going to be that one player that has to really stand out early on for the Toros from the new signings?
For me, it's got to be Taylor Davila. Taylor Davila is a player, yes, coming in from LA Galaxy 2, but he's a player that a lot of analysts think very highly of, despite being in Los Dos. Now you come in a team where you've got to fight against Juan David Cabezas and Gringo Torres, try to find yourself a position there. You've got other midfielders brought in like Ian Cerro as well that are going to be wanting those minutes in the midfield. So with that kind of responsibility, he's going to have to show once he has those opportunities, whether it was here in preseason or in the first games of the season, he's going to have to prove why he deserves to be in the starting 11, kind of commanding that midfield.
For me, of the newcomers, it's very hard to pick one out, but if I have to pick one out, it's going to be Cristiano Francois. You know, he had a very slow start in his career in El Paso, but yet he showed a lot of promise while playing at Miami FC, scoring 11 times, assisting another 7 times. For me, I think that's going to be the one player that has to stand out. And why do I pick him? Because he comes with the most USL Championship experience from the bunch. He's also an international, played with the Haitian national team, and I kind of feel like his speed, either on the left or right flanks, it's going to be necessary for him to get him going to kind of like fill in that absence of Jonah Felsberg.
And he has that. He's well aware of the situation. We just finished talking with Cristiano Francois right now, and he was talking about his experience and how that's going to be an important factor. You mentioned how he struggled with El Paso, flourished with the Miami FC. One of the things that he did mention was that Wilmer's playstyle is a lot similar to that playstyle he played with under the Miami FC, which allowed him to thrive. You could say that that was pretty much one of his, if not the best season he's had in the USL Championship. So when you've got a player that has not only mentioned about the play style that he's coming into, but also the locker room, the environment of that locker room, how it's been very welcoming for him, you know, that's going to be a huge motivation to try to not only meet those expectations of what he performed with at the Miami FC, but exceed those expectations here at RGV FC.
Now, you mentioned the front office. There's been some changes there now. You got Hondo Caldelaria being named the full club president as far as president of Golden Globes Entertainment, Golden Grapes Entertainment. What do you make of this move? I mean, is it a good move to have him on, to bring him as president of RGV FC?
If you ask my soccer fan in me, I expected a soccer-specific president. But you got to look into the context of this. This position isn't just overseeing the team. This position oversees Bert Ogden Arena, HB Park, the Toros, and of course you also have, you know, all these getting these events into these venues, whether it's getting Los Tigres del Norte into Bert Ogden Arena or getting Tigres versus Pachuca here at HB Park. You know, it's not just about knowing soccer. You need a businessman, and Hondo has been in this business for many years, and you know, I'm happy for him at a personal level that he's gotten the opportunity to get the position, show us what he's got. Again, from a soccer perspective, I would have liked somebody that knows the sport of soccer and how to make this team specifically grow and be more competitive. But that's not the requirements that Alonso Cantu wants from the position. He wants everything. So in that aspect, then yes, I am kind of happy with him being chosen.
You know, for me, I've known Hondo for almost over a decade now. He's handled very big projects. He's overseeing ESPN Radio when it was once down here in the Rio Grande Valley. He saw a little bit of the Rio Grande Valley Killer Bees the original RGV Dorados. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Um, there's been the RGV Vipers, where he has seen that franchise grow since its infant days, and now overseeing the Toros since its infant stages, whether if it was in one capacity, whether selling the tickets or doing different capacities for the Toros organization. I personally like the movement because you're getting the best of two worlds. He's done a little bit of everything in sports, including Toros, and you're also getting the entertainment aspect because this venue has held a concert or two when it comes to entertainment wise. So that's a plus right there. And then you have the RGVF side effect, which is also a positive for the club as well.
Definitely, and obviously there is room for improvement on what needs to be done. Um, you've got the added pressure. I can't vouch and say that it's pressure that the front office has or the coaching staff has, but you can't lie that there is added pressure now that your rival from up 281 has now won the USL championship. So you've got that pressure of trying to continue to improve the team to get to their level. Maybe the funding isn't comparative, but at least make it further into the playoffs than what happened last season and what happened the year before. So Hondo has a big responsibility to oversee with RGV FC. You've got the whole situation of getting people into the stands, which, as I mentioned down in the valley before, has made some improvements, yes, but there's still a lot of room to grow, not only in the revenue aspect, but also, we got it. This is a 9,700 seat stadium that I don't think outside of Liga MX friendlies I have not seen get filled up for the Toros. I think only in the stadium opener against San Antonio was the only time I've ever seen it completely full.
And also the inauguration, which Rayados debuted it. A little history about
Yes.
debuting stadiums. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, nudge.
I see.
No, but now on to the last topic of this video. The old Willie Nelson Classic on the road again. It's on the road again for RGVFC in Open Cup play. When will this club reverse its fortunes and host an Open Cup game? I hope it's this season, but for now, got to focus on South Georgia Tormenta FC. That's what the Toros drew in Open Cup play, and they're on the road now. So you kind of add that one more game to the already grueling schedule that the USL Championship is.
I honestly, I think the way that they're seeing it is that I think outside of the fiercest fans of American soccer, I don't think a lot of people are going to take time off of their day during the week to come and watch an Open Cup match. So maybe they're kind of seeing it in the cost versus revenue evaluation why they haven't gone, because you have to remember that in order to host in the Open Cup, the team has to put in money. They have to pay U.S. Soccer a certain amount of money to be able to be in the drawing to host an Open Cup venue. Now, if I do recall correctly, last year when they went into the next round, when they were going to play against Houston Dynamo, according to the presenters, RGV did pay the money to be able to host yeah. Well, as you can say, call it what you want, but they paid the money to be able to enter the drawing to host. Unfortunately, the Toros, the way it was drawn, they had to travel over to Houston. But hey, who knows? It might be that Alonso Cantu has been paying the money to enter the draw. It's just for now, the draw hasn't gone in our favor to be able to host the magical Open Cup here in the Rio Grande Valley.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we conclude this video, what's the one thing that you want to see RGVFC improve upon this season? It can be front office or it can be on the field stuff.
I think clearly the marketing needs to improve. It's made its improvements, yes, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done to be able to attract fans here at the stadium. Whether it's social media presence, which right now it's really cookie cutter as of it is, which is pretty much, this is what happened, all right, or we just announced this player. There's no interaction between the social media accounts and the fans. There's I think there's a limited amount of commercials leading up to this home opener, so I think that still needs some improvements. The numbers reflect that the changes that they've made so far have made some improvements in attendance, but there's still a lot more that needs to be done that continue to improve the attendance here at HEB Park. So I think the biggest priority for me has to be in that part of the front office.
For me, I'm going to go with the two-way fold. Fast starts, which probably means winning your first few games that you have available on the schedule to kind of get that fan-based illusioned a little bit to improve the marketing aspect of that. Right now, that's kind of been the two-way fold for me. You know, winning cures everything, you know, and I kind of feel like next weekend when the Toros have their home opener, they're going to have to make a pretty good statement against a Las Vegas Lights team, which we've seen historically, you know, they can come out and provide a surprise or two, but
which they did last season.
Exactly. Here. So now you got to have to like follow up the way you ended last season, but do it better, you know.
And leading up to that, man, every game, you have to remember that every game in the long run, it all counts, not only in the amount of points that you amass, but remember how we were talking about last season as we were going into the opportunity of the Toros making the playoffs. We talked about that tiebreakers. Okay, what happens if there's 2 or 3 teams with the same number of points? Well, the first tiebreaker is results within the affected clubs. Yeah. What made the Toros go into the next or have a higher probability of making the playoffs compared to the other two, which was Las Vegas Lights and Oakland Roots? What was it? Results. What helped us? Yes, we lost 1-0 here to Las Vegas Lights, but we thrashed them 5-0 at Cashman Field. So that goal difference helps us out against Las Vegas. It also helped us out against Oakland Roots as well.
We won the home tie. We drew the away tie.
Exactly. So they need to go in. We can't go into the beginning of the season. Oh, it's just the beginning of the season, right? Any points lost can affect us at the end.
Yeah, exactly. So Edson, I just want to thank you so much for joining me on this video. Where can people find your works at?
You can follow me. You can follow my personal account on Twitter and on Instagram at @eochoa_8. I find myself tweeting about the Toros more from my personal life, but you can also follow @Down in the RGV, where you can get updates of whenever we upload a video, when we upload a podcast, which we will be having one live on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Down in the RGV, Down in the Valley. We will be going live this Wednesday, kind of as a preview to this home opener that will be happening on Sunday. So everyone is welcome to come in and watch, give your opinions. The chat is always open. And as Ray can probably tell you, sometimes the banter is just hilarious between us.
And you can find my work at South Texas Athletics, IX ending on Twitter, or you can find me on Instagram under South Texas Border Sports, Facebook South Texas Border Sports, and definitely on YouTube at South Texas Border Sports. Edson, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for inviting me on to talk for your video.
Thank you.